Hello everyone, welcome back my Alpha family. Today we gather in the darkness, in the shadows, where we confront the raw and the real, where we face not just the world, but also the bitter sting of laughter that was once directed at us. The laughter of those who saw us as weak, as unworthy, as nothing. The laughter of those who mocked us when we stumbled, when we failed, when we reached for something they thought was beyond us. But today we stand tall, stronger than we have ever been, because karma, oh karma, had the final laugh. And it's a laugh that echoes louder than any mockery we ever faced. It's a laugh that reverberates through their lives, reminding them of who they once thought was small and who they now know is untouchable. There was a time when they looked at you and saw nothing. They saw your struggles, your weaknesses, your failures, and they laughed. They laughed because they thought you would never rise above it. They thought you were destined to stay in the same place, to remain invisible, unnoticed, insignificant. They thought your dreams were nothing but fantasies, your desires mere delusions. How foolish they were, how short-sighted. They could not see what was brewing inside of you, the fire that no amount of ridicule could ever extinguish. They couldn't see your resilience, your refusal to give up. They couldn't see that every laugh, every mockery, every insult was fueling you. It was pushing you to grow, to evolve, to become someone they would regret ever crossing paths with. In their ignorance, they believed that success was a game of chance, that the ones who succeeded were the ones born with privilege, with resources, with the right connections. But they didn't understand the essence of real power. They didn't understand that true strength doesn't come from what you have, but from what you endure. It comes from surviving the storms, from standing tall in the face of adversity, from fighting when the odds are stacked against you. They didn't know that one day, when the dust settled, it wouldn't be their names etched in the annals of victory, but yours. Because in the end, it's not about who laughs first, but who laughs last. And oh, how sweet that laugh is. The laugh that isn't born from mockery, but from triumph, from the recognition of your journey, your battle, your victory. The laugh that comes when the very people who once laughed at you are now forced to watch as you stand in your glory. They see the success you have built with your own two hands, the life you have crafted from your determination, your willpower, your relentless drive. They see you now, not as the weakling they once believed you to be, but as a force to be reckoned with. They see you, not as the person they laughed at, but as the person they fear. And in their fear, there is respect, there is awe, there is the undeniable truth that they underestimated you, and now they must live with the consequences. You see, karma isn't some mythical force that works in the shadows. It's the law of the universe. What you put out into the world comes back to you. It's a simple equation. Sow hatred, sow ridicule, sow mockery, and watch as it blooms into the very thing you feared. For those who laughed at you, their laughter was a seed of their own destruction. They didn't know it, but every time they belittled you, every time they took pleasure in your pain, they were planting the roots of their own downfall. Karma doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive. It simply waits, patiently, for the right moment to remind the world of its power. And when that moment comes, it's undeniable. It's unrelenting. It's the final laugh that leaves no room for argument, no room for denial. It's the moment when you rise and they fall. They didn't realize that their laughter was a reflection of their own insecurities. They laughed because they feared you. They laughed because they saw your potential and were terrified of it. They laughed because they didn't want you to see the truth. that you were capable of more than they could ever imagine. They thought, by mocking you, by making you feel small, they could keep you in your place. But they didn't realize that the more they tried to push you down, the more they were pushing you towards greatness. They didn't realize that every laugh, every sneer, every cruel word was only strengthening your resolve. They didn't know that you would use their mockery as fuel, that you would use their laughter as motivation to prove them wrong. And when the time came, when the moment of reckoning arrived, you were ready. Ready to show them all just how wrong they were. Ready to show them that you were not the weakling they thought you were, but a force to be reckoned with. And now, they are left in your wake. They are left watching from the sidelines as you continue to rise, as you continue to claim what is rightfully yours. They are left with nothing but the bitter taste of regret, the bitter realization that they will never be able to take back the laughter they once directed at you. They will never be able to undo the harm they caused, because karma doesn't forget, and it doesn't allow people to escape their actions. They thought they were laughing at you, but in reality, they were laughing at themselves, sealing their own fate. And now, the final laugh belongs to you. As you continue on your journey, remember this: there will always be those who laugh at you. There will always be those who doubt you, who mock you, who try to bring you down. But don't waste your energy on them. Don't waste your time trying to prove anything to those who will never understand your worth. Focus on your own path. Focus on your growth. Focus on becoming the person they never believed you could be. Because in the end, it's not their approval you need. It's not their validation that will give you strength. It's your own belief in yourself, your own commitment to your vision, your own refusal to accept defeat that will carry you to the top. And when you reach that pinnacle, when you stand at the peak of your success, you will look back and smile, knowing that you didn't need their approval to get there. You didn't need their belief in you to make it happen. You did it all on your own. You made them regret ever laughing at you. So, as you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that karma will always have the final laugh. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how many obstacles you face. It doesn't matter how much they try to bring you down. In the end, you will always come out on top. Your resilience, your strength, your unwavering determination will lead you to the success they never saw coming. And when it happens, when the world finally sees you for who you truly are, when the people who once laughed at you are left in the dust, you will know that it was all worth it. Because karma, the universe, the very forces that shape this world, they don't forget. And they will always ensure that the final laugh belongs to those who never gave up, who never stopped fighting, and who never stopped believing in themselves. That laugh, that sweet, victorious laugh, is yours, and no one can take it from you. They thought they knew you. They thought they could read you, see through your every move. They thought that by laughing at you, by mocking your journey, they could break you. They didn't realize the resilience that was brewing within you, the fire that couldn't be extinguished by their empty words or their pitiful laughter. You were not like them. You were not meant to be ordinary, to be content with a life dictated by the whims of others. No, you were forged in the fires of struggle, the trials that only the strongest souls endure. They didn't understand that. They didn't understand the strength that comes from being underestimated, from being ridiculed. They didn't know that every time they laughed at you, they were only setting the stage for your greatest triumph. What they failed to see was that your greatest weapon wasn't strength in the conventional sense. It wasn't money. It wasn't fame. It wasn't power. Your greatest weapon was your mind, your unshakable will, and your unwavering belief in your purpose. These are the things that others cannot take from you. They may try to break you, to beat you down, but they cannot take what is within you. They cannot steal the fire that burns in your soul, the fire that propels you forward when the world tells you to stop, the fire that refuses to let you be anything less than what you were destined to become. When they laughed, they didn't realize that you were never going to be stopped by their opinions. You were never going to be defeated by their scorn. You were only going to rise higher and higher with each passing day. They thought you were down for the count, that the obstacles in your path were insurmountable, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. They didn't understand that every failure you encountered only served to refine you, to shape you into someone even more unstoppable than before. They didn't understand that you were a warrior, not just in body, but in spirit, and no one can defeat the spirit of someone who refuses to be broken. And now, as you stand here today, they can't help but watch in awe. They see the success you've built, the life you've carved out for yourself, and they realize, far too late, that they were wrong. They were wrong to doubt you, to laugh at you, to mock you. The same people who once saw you as nothing are now forced to confront the fact that you are someone to be reckoned with. They see you standing tall, standing proud, and they realize that they have become irrelevant in your story. They are just a footnote in the narrative of your success. Their laughter was nothing more than the sound of their own insecurity, their own fear, and now that fear has come full circle, they are left in the wake of your rise, watching as you continue to grow, to achieve, to conquer, and all they can do is sit back, helpless, as they witness the inevitable. But here's the thing they don't understand. Their laughter, their mockery, only made you stronger. It only fueled your desire to prove them wrong. It only sharpened your focus, like a blade honed through relentless pressure. They thought they were breaking you, but they were only building you. They thought they were making you small, but they were only making you bigger. The more they laughed, the more determined you became. The more they underestimated you, the higher you climbed. And now you stand at the summit, looking down at those who once mocked you, those who thought they could keep you in the shadows. And you know one thing, they are nothing now. They are nothing compared to you. When karma laughs, it doesn't laugh in the way that you expect. It doesn't laugh in the way of vengeance or bitterness. No, karma's laugh is a quiet, powerful thing. It is a reflection of the universe's balance, the natural order of things. You don't have to lift a finger to see karma at work. You don't have to engage in petty fights or pointless arguments. All you have to do is focus on your own path, on your own journey, and allow karma to do its thing. And when the time is right, when the universe has aligned everything perfectly, karma will make sure that those who once laughed at you will see exactly what they missed. They will see that you were always the one destined to win. They will see that your success was inevitable, that your greatness was never in question, and that the only thing standing in your way was the moment when you would rise. In the end, they will realize that they were never really laughing at you. They were laughing at the idea of you, the idea of what you could become. They were laughing at the potential they couldn't see, the strength they couldn't comprehend, the power they couldn't understand. They laughed because they thought you were just like them, trapped in the same small world, living the same small life. But they didn't realize that you were meant for more. You were meant for greatness, and no amount of their laughter could ever change that. No matter how hard they tried, no matter how many times they laughed, they could never stop you from becoming who you were always meant to be. Now that you've made it, now that you've risen from the ashes they tried to bury you in, you stand as a testament to the power of resilience. You stand as a living, breathing example of what happens when you refuse to give in to the noise of the world, when you refuse to let the opinions of others define you. You stand as proof that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you can always rise again, stronger and more determined than ever. And as you rise, you will see them behind you, watching, wondering how they missed it, how they failed to see the greatness in you when they had the chance. They will wonder how they let you slip through their fingers, how they allowed themselves to underestimate you. And when they wonder, when they finally come to terms with the truth, you will be too far ahead to notice. You will be too far ahead in your journey, too focused on your own success to care about their regrets. What they never understood, what they never saw in you, is that you were never playing their game. You were playing your own game, following your own rules, building your own path. You weren't competing with them, you were competing with yourself. You weren't trying to prove them wrong, you were trying to prove something to yourself. And that is why you won. Because when you compete with yourself, when your motivation comes from within, no one can take that away from you. No one can defeat you. They may laugh at you, they may try to tear you down, but as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep believing in yourself, you will always come out on top. They didn't see it then, but they see it now. They see your strength, your power, your unwavering belief in your own potential. They see that you were never meant to be anything less than extraordinary, and now they have no choice but to watch as you claim what is rightfully yours. They can only look on in envy, in awe, in regret, because they know that they had a front row seat to your rise, and yet they chose to laugh. They chose to mock you, to belittle you, to ignore you. And now they must live with the consequences of their actions. But you have nothing to prove to them. You've already proven everything you need to prove to yourself. You've already shown the world what you're capable of, what you can accomplish when you refuse to let anyone define you. And now you stand victorious, knowing that the final laugh was always yours. The universe knew it all along. It knew that you would rise, that you would overcome, and that in the end, you would be the one who had the last laugh. The last laugh is yours, and you have earned it in ways that no one can comprehend. You see, the journey you've walked was never easy, nor was it supposed to be. It was never meant to be handed to you on a silver platter, nor was it meant to be smooth or free of obstacles. If it were, it wouldn't have had the power to shape you into the person you are today. And when they laughed at you, when they scoffed at your efforts and tried to belittle your dreams, they only pushed you closer to your destiny. They didn't realize that every insult, every mocking glance, every moment of scorn only hardened your resolve. They thought they were shaking you, but they were merely making you more unshakable. They thought they could break you down, but instead, they were giving you the fuel to rise. Now, standing tall in the very place they never thought you'd reach, you can look back on those moments with a sense of pride because they served a purpose. Their laughter was not a mockery of your potential. It was an awakening, a wake-up call that alerted you to the truth. You were meant for something more. You were never going to be satisfied with mediocrity. You were never going to settle for the life they tried to prescribe for you. You were always destined to rise above, to break free from the chains they tried to place around you. And now that you have, you realize that you owe them nothing. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. You owe it to yourself to never forget the pain, the doubt, and the struggle. You owe it to yourself to remember that their laughter was never about you. It was always about them, their fear, their jealousy, their need to feel superior. And now that you've climbed higher than they ever could, they are left watching in the distance as you continue to soar. But here's the thing, the higher you climb, the more people will try to tear you down. The more success you achieve, the more people will feel threatened by you. It's just the nature of life. There will always be those who look at your success and wish they could have it for themselves. There will always be those who, despite their laughter, deep down, wanted to be you. But that's not your problem. It's never been your problem. Your focus has always been on one thing: your journey, your growth, your success. You didn't need their validation to get to where you are. You didn't need their approval to rise. You didn't need their permission to chase your dreams. And now that you have, you are unshaken, unstoppable, and unbothered by the noise of their doubts. When you walk in the light of your success, people will remember the laughter. They will remember the insults, the ridicule, the moments when they thought they were making you small. They will try to hide behind their masks of indifference, pretending like they never doubted you, pretending like they were always on your side. But you see through them. You know the truth. You know who stood by your side when no one else would. You know who laughed at you when you were at your lowest. And now, as you stand on the mountaintop of your success, you are not only above them in stature, but above them in spirit. Because the victory you've achieved is not just in what you've accomplished, but in the strength it took to get here. You've seen the worst. You've been through the fire. You've endured the pain, the struggle, the isolation. You've been knocked down, beaten down, pushed to the brink of despair. And yet, here you are, standing tall, stronger than ever. They thought you were weak. They thought you couldn't handle the pressure. But they didn't know what you were made of. They didn't know that every battle you fought, every failure you faced, only made you stronger. They didn't know that the darker the night, the brighter the stars shine. And you are the brightest star in the sky, lighting the way for others to follow. Their laughter, their doubts, their attempts to bring you down were never about you. They were about their own insecurities, their fear that you would rise higher than they ever could, their fear that you would prove them wrong. They laughed because they were too afraid to face the truth, that you were capable of more than they could ever imagine. They laughed because they thought your dreams were too big, too unrealistic, too far out of reach. But now, as you stand in the glow of your success, their laughter is nothing more than a distant memory, a faint echo in the background. It holds no power over you. It has no hold on your soul. You see, the true power of success is not just in the material accomplishments or the recognition. The true power lies in knowing that you did it your way. You did it without their support. You did it without their encouragement. You did it despite their laughter, despite their doubts, and despite their attempts to hold you back. You did it because you believed in yourself when no one else did. You did it because you refused to let anyone define you, limit you, or tell you what you could or couldn't do. And now, you stand in the light of that belief, that unshakable confidence that you have built in yourself. But don't be fooled. There will always be people who will try to tear you down. There will always be those who will laugh behind your back, who will whisper their doubts, who will try to undermine your success. But here's the thing, their laughter doesn't matter anymore. Their doubts don't matter anymore. You are no longer seeking validation from anyone. You are no longer looking for approval or permission to live your life the way you want to. You have learned that the only person you need to prove anything to is yourself. And you've already proven it. You've already shown the world what you are capable of. And no amount of laughter, no amount of ridicule can ever take that away from you. What they didn't realize is that karma is not just a force of retribution. It's a force of balance. It's the universe's way of reminding us that actions have consequences. They thought their laughter would bring you down. They thought their mocking words would destroy your spirit. But in reality, those actions only created a powerful force inside of you. Every insult was like a stone in your backpack, weighing you down, but also pushing you forward. Every laugh was like a spark, igniting a fire inside of you that could never be extinguished. And now you stand before them, unrecognizable, powerful, and unrelenting in your pursuit of greatness. As you stand on the peak of your success, you can feel the weight of all the laughter and doubt from the past. But it doesn't weigh you down, doesn't slow you down. It only fuels you. You now know the value of resilience. You know the power of standing tall in the face of adversity. You know that it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about how you rise every time you fall. It's about how you turn every setback into a stepping stone. And now, as you gaze down at the people who once laughed at you, you can see their faces full of regret, their eyes wide with realization. They know they were wrong. They know they underestimated you. And they know that they will never be able to catch up. So, my friend, never forget the lesson. Your success is your revenge. Your rise is the final laugh. They laughed at you once, but now you are the one who has the last word. You are the one who has the last laugh, and nothing will ever take that away from you. In the end, remember this. Their laughter was never a reflection of your worth, but of their own fears and insecurities. You rose above it all, not because you sought revenge, but because you believed in yourself when no one else did. Now, standing in your power, you have the last laugh. No one can take that from you. Your journey, your resilience, and your success speak louder than any mockery ever could. Keep pushing forward, knowing that the universe always rewards those who never give up, who never let others define their limits. Your victory is yours to savor, and nothing will ever change that truth.